So today we are gonna talk about barely their makeup. Now what the hell is that? It's just another fancy name for a no makeup look. Plus I'm gonna be sharing some of my go-to makeup products that I've been using for some weeks now. Moisturize, hydrate, put on your favorite sunscreen, let it sit, and meanwhile I'm gonna do my eyebrows. Now I love clean eyebrows, okay? It changes your whole look, but I guess I was way too passionate while shaving my eyebrows. I accidentally trimmed the first few strands on my left eyebrow. So today I will be using something like this to fill in the gap. The eyebrow pencil is from Pony Effect. If you have sparse eyebrows, you might need something like this. They're all called micro precision or definition eyebrow pencils. Make sure the one you have is neither too waxy nor too creamy. We need an in-between formula that is convenient to draw hair-like strokes, but at the same time the formula shouldn't move throughout the day. I don't have an exact dupe for this product, but my favorite eyebrow pencil is the Etude House Drawing Eyebrow in the shade 01 Dark Brown. I have repurchased that one many times. There are also these people who are just naturally gifted with thick, luscious eyebrow hair. If you are someone who belongs to that category, I recommend that you go for an eyebrow gel or soap brow styler. During rough times like this, I do take my time to perfect my eyebrows, since today's look is very nonchalant, girl next door kind of aesthetics. Today's makeup is how I believe a young adult contemporary fiction main character would look like. Coming back, always use a spoolie brush to feather the brow product. It looks a little harsh here because I completely forgot to do that step. Don't be like me and always finish it off by brushing your eyebrow hair with the spoolie. I have been genuinely loving this makeup fixing spray from Mars Cosmetics. So instead of using a primer, I just sprayed this mist all over my face. It's kind of like priming, it's also refreshing, and the good thing is that it doesn't have any weird scent that my nose could pick up on. I have been reaching out to this concealer from Kryolan for the past few weeks now. It's actually a color corrector, but I've been using it as a concealer. Now, today's makeup look is heavily inspired by the no makeup look that we see quite often on magazine models, like high fashion models. They look like they have nothing on their face, but it also feels like their features have been highlighted so beautifully that it's the first thing you notice when you skim through these magazines. I'm not gonna entirely perfect every single part of my face. What I'm doing here is I'm kind of glossing the concealer over my pigmentation. I literally felt like a professional makeup artist doing this. This is actually an eyeshadow brush from BH Cosmetics. It's from their Rose Quartz brush set, I believe. You can literally use your fingers as I've done in this video. I really took my time. I took my time, bro. I only covered where I wanted to cover, so you do have a lot of control. I didn't use any color correctors, so it's not completely covered. That is like my hyperpigmentation and my dark circles, because it looked fine in real life and in normal room lighting. The only step that was out of usual for me is that I took the concealer to the brim of my lash line, so it was all even. I hope you can see the difference here, since the no makeup look is pretty skin focused. I took the product to the brim of my lash line, but yes, nothing is fully covered. Lately, I've been hooked onto this sponge from Mars Cosmetics. It's their Wonder Blender sponge. When fully damp, this sponge unfortunately absorbs a lot of product from my face, so I either use it dry just like that or semi-damp. But other than that, it's an amazing sponge considering the price as well. The next product, guys, this is me in a bottle. This is everything I like in a product, okay? This is the Blue Heaven Fresh and Flawless Hydrating Skin Tint in the shade Caramel. The shade is a good match for my skin tone. The shade Caramel has a neutral undertone. When I apply it, I sense a buttery texture. The formula slides on my skin. Spoiler, you can't expect any coverage from this tint. It's just a tint. I always use it after my concealer. I mainly use it as a wash of color to neutralize any sort of undertones that might clash with my skin. Okay, this is the type of product that you have to use your fingers to blend. Once you fully blend the skin tint, the coverage looks pretty skin-like, second skin. That's how the finish is, but I have to give you a disclaimer. If your regular sunscreen happened to be the 𝘗𝘗𝘏𝘔 Hydrate Plus 2B sunscreen, the green one, and you really love that sunscreen and you don't ever want to switch, then I would say don't buy this skin tint. The 𝘗𝘗𝘏𝘔 sunscreen and the Blue Heaven skin tint, they both clash. So their formula clashes and it pills like crazy. I don't know if it's because of the sunscreen, I don't know if it's because of the skin tint. So yeah, that is that. Now remember when I told you about magazine models and how their features are always like the first thing that you notice? I have chubby face. So contour is a must-do step for me. To define all my features properly, I'm using this contour and highlight duo stick from Blue Heaven in the shade Magnificent Deep. They described this shade to be perfect for medium to dusky skin tone, but I also wish they had a deeper shade. The contour side is neither cool nor warm. It's like the perfect in-between color of a contour and a bronzer. This formula might be too creamy for some people who are like accustomed to thick, waxy contour formula. Just like how I applied my concealer according to my skin type, I really took my time with contour. I know my face shape, so I only applied where I needed, you know, lifting, defining, and camouflaging, all of that. Now, I was going through my comments and a million of you asked about my MAC shade. I'm kidding, 2 people asked me. I don't own any MAC foundation, but if it helps, I do have some really good foundation matches. First is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Plus Poreless Liquid Foundation in 330 Toffee. Another foundation that is like an exact match for my skin tone is the Rimmel London Lasting Finish Foundation in Latte. The K Beauty Hydrating Foundation in the shade 170 White Tan is also a good match for my skin. Now, coming back, I contoured my nose as well. I can never miss this step. I have talked about this before in this video, I believe. When you're blending the contour, always take it to the eyebrows. I'm talking about this shadow, this dip. This dip makes my nose look more structured. To set my face with powder, I reached out to this OG loose powder from Maybelline. I really wish they could launch a few more shades. On Nykaa, there are only 4 shades and this happened to be the last shade. But still, the shade 30 Medium Deep is still a shade lighter to my skin tone. Nowadays, I've been using a dense brush like this to stamp the powder onto my skin. I have been loving this technique for my skin type. I have dry skin, so I don't bake. For some bizarre reason, using a damp sponge just doesn't work. I have tried it many times and it always ends up with a patchy, wet layer of powder on my face. I then set everything with the setting spray. Oh my god, I have to introduce this beautiful lip and cheek tint from Mamaearth. Now this tint in the shade 02 CoCo Nude is the star of the show. I don't own anything like this. The formula is satiny. It's very sheer, and the color is like a perfect mauvey nude for my skin tone. Something about their lip products, the colors always oxidize. When I first got this, it definitely looked way darker, like a dark brown color. Now after I've used it, many times, it looks mauvey brown. I see a lot of purple in it. You can see the color, but at the same time you can't really figure out what exactly I have on my cheeks. As a cheek tint, there is little to no coverage. This is exactly why I used it after my powder. If I have to set my face with powder on top of this, the blush would have completely disappeared. Now, to take it up a notch, you need to use the most mediocre, yes, mediocre mascara that you have. Well, lengthening mascaras are also pretty mediocre, so you can also use that. This is specifically for my perfectionist queens. This is a no makeup look. Yes, I don't want fuller looking lashes. Having lash extensions kind of lashes just doesn't make any sense. This one from Blue Heaven is pretty mediocre, meaning the formula isn't waxy or thick. Since it's quite runny, the formula separates my lashes. Now it looks very clean and almost like a digital painting of sort. Now I used heat to hold my lashes in place because again, mediocre mascaras and their watery formula weigh down your lashes. So either heat up your lash curler or use a bamboo skewer like this one. Guys, I might be a dummy time to time, but I have experimented with this lash technique quite a few times, so you can trust me on this. Now, you know how most people say to use a rose gold, or yellow highlighter if you have medium to deeper skin tone? I don't agree with that. If it's a daytime look, go for a silver highlighter. I think silver, white, pearl kind of highlighters look so good on deeper skin tones. If you have noticed, most of our rooms have white light. It's called a fluorescent light, and very rarely, at least where I live, we use tungsten, aka yellow light in our rooms. It's always white light. So if you want your makeup to look really natural, I say that you go for a white highlighter. Yellow or gold just doesn't make sense. Tell me in the comment section down below. I want to know which highlighter you prefer the most, white or yellow. For the highlighter, I used the Blue Heaven Duo Stick, the highlighter part. I love this stuff, especially the highlighter. It's very subtle, it's very creamy. I look expensive. For the lips, I used the same tint from Mamaearth. The color was so subtle on my lips. This stuff should be illegal. This is the best mauve based nude I own. Legit looks like I have nothing on my lips. I ended up loving the color. The setting spray is my new favorite obsession, and I love the skin tint too. I love this look. It's so clean, it's neat. I rate it 8 out of 10, but think of it as like the first iteration. This is like the first version. I want to study the no makeup look in detail and analyze why this is the most preferred makeup look for ages. Whether you're 16 or 60, we all love the no makeup look. That is it for today. I will come back with a new video. Meanwhile, you can binge watch my older videos, maybe some of my lipstick swatches. I will see you when I see you next. Bye guys.